live. Let's see if I can. Get some comments. Turn that off. I don't need to hear me twice. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Give everyone just a second to pop on. We're going to be doing just it's not going to be a very long video today, or live today. I have a couple projects I want to make. Hi, Dana. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to be doing two experimental projects, and then a hat, a tumbler, and 2 pieces of paper, and that's all. I've got to make, my cousin is having a birthday on Thursday, and then she's retiring on Friday, so I'm making a matching tumbler and hat for her. And then I need some papers, so I'm going to make 2 sheets of paper. And then I have, I'll explain a little bit more of this later, but I have these sample threads. I'm going to see if these threads will take the marbling. They're metallic threads, and so I'm not sure that they will marble. Because I take the tumblers and I wrap them in the thread. This is just a white thread, and then I can marble them. This is a Yeti. And if you watched a few weeks ago, I did that same technique with this tumbler. And here it is, all completed. And I was so pleased with the way it turned out that I can't wait to do another one. And I thought, what a more fun way to do a set than wrap the tumbler and then do another. I don't know if the lighting's good for you to see that, but anyway, it turned out really pretty. I'm so pleased with it. And then I've done this one. This is this marbled fabric that I wrapped the tumbler in. And then I have the wrapped thread to hide the edges. So this is a hog tumbler. That one's a Yeti. And then this was one of my first experimental ones. This is just all thread with a little bit of glitter at the bottom. So I've just found, this is called a fade wrap, and so I've just had a lot of fun with thread lately. I started out thinking I wanted to just wrap them. What did I do with my paper towels? I must have put them down in the house. I wanted to just wrap the tumblers with the white thread and see if it would marble, which we now know it does. But then I thought, ooh, I could also do some other fun stuff with different colors of threads. So that's what I did. And so this is the one we're marbling today. I want to make sure that I have enough room. I measured earlier and I have enough depth to get the entire tumbler. So, and then we're going to do this votive cup. I have done glass before, but I'm doing this in a little bit different way. I prepped the glass in a little bit different way. So those are the things we're kind of going to do this afternoon. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is Ebru water marbling. Guess I'll use these. If you hear some hammering, it's my husband trying to fix our front door. Our doorknob quit working a little while ago, and we bought a new one, and it doesn't fit right. So I don't know if he's giving up or... Oh, I'm going to have to go grab those paper towels. so happy we can get paper towels again. I can't do this without paper towels. So there I have the base in. I might just put a little bit more. Again, I'm going to be using red, and when you use red, you want to have a lot of pressure to push on it. This is floating paint on the water, and then it spreads out. And with red, it needs something to push on. It's all about the surface tension. And you can put the colors wherever you would like. So I use red very early in the process. And then the other colors will just push up against it. You can see how it's all spread out. Woo! That one came out really quickly. I hope all the dads that are out there are having a wonderful Father's Day. I have to call my dad later today. Haven't done that yet. You just apply it one drop at a time. As much or as little as you want of each color. Hi Joanna, hi Kara. Alright. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of this. A little bit of yellow. She likes yellow. It's not one of my favorite colors, so I'm just going to add a little bit just to help kind of make the other colors pop. Okay. How's everything down in Texas, Kara? Just move the paint around. All right. Let's get the tumbler going. Oh. Just moving the rinse bucket over here close. So here we go. And there it is. The rinsing just takes off the excess. Then I'm going to just set it over here on a piece of parchment paper that I have laid out. Oh, this is so fun. I can't wait to see the hat that's going to go with it now. So I will clean the surface and start again. I don't have to add the paint in the same order if I don't want to. I will automatically add the red. I might add red first this time and then add the white. I just truly love doing those tumblers. They're so fun. And then once you get the epoxy on it, it just It just makes me happy. And this is the newsprint will just pick up the paint that's left on the surface. And since I'm using the same colors, it's not going to be, you know, imperative that I get all the paint off the surface. Ordinarily it would be. But it's really not going to matter this time. So you can still see some of the white floating, and that's just fine. I've been working all day on, I've got so many gifts that are in progress right now, and I can't show anything, and it's driving me crazy. So I've been working on a lot of gifts lately. I started another thread wrap tumbler this morning. Watch that red just stand out once that white starts pushing it. Let's see, I think I want to add this next and then the pink. I keep forgetting this one comes out so quickly. Each paint will come out of the bottle just a little bit at its own rate. They all have a little bit different properties. Okay, so this is the same paint colors, just a little different order. I have an idea here. Work some of this red back into the design. It all pushed out to the side. That little heart that I made right there is going to be on the bill of the hat. Thank you, Kara. Hi, Nancy. All right, so here's the hat, all ready to go. Okay, so and there it is. See the heart? Oh, and I forgot had to move my water bucket over. Try to get some of the excess to drip off. All of that is just the water. Give it a little rinse and rinse my hands. Okay, so now we have, let this drain a little bit and I'll show you both of them side by side. Let's see, let me put the lid on that so I don't get water in there. Thanks, Nancy. I know, Kara, I love it too. It's so fun. Okay, now I can show you both. So there's the tumbler and there's the hat. Thank you, Beth. Hi, Samantha. Thank you. So I thought that made a fun little set for her on her new adventures, since she's going to have freedom now that she's retired, or will be retired, I guess I should say. So I'm just going to put this hat in a bag so it doesn't get dirty. I know, it's always so hard to decide. I find myself having trouble. I know what I want to do, I just don't know. And that reminds me. I don't know what colors to use, which combinations. I text her, my cousin, and said, what are your favorite colors? And of course she says, why? And then being a typical Bowles, she goes, well, it depends on what it's for. And I had to laugh because it sounded just like an answer I would give. So we are so much alike. Okay, so now I will want to make sure I clean the surface very well so we can do our next project. I had, well, I hope I get to find out what retirement's like one day. But I need to make sure I clean it very well because we'll be using a different colorway for the next. I have 2 sheets of paper I want to do. And see, it just takes it right off the surface. And now I'm doing, yeah, I agree, Kara, I agree. Hi, Penny. Everybody I know is retiring, and it's just like, that's not fair. I want to. So I wanted to use these 3 colors. I have a beer mug that I'm working with, and so I wanted something that I think would look nice on it, so I'm going to do a sheet of paper. Oh, thank you, Lavera. I appreciate it. What part of Texas? I love Texas. Kara, I think often about coming down and visiting you and Beth. I haven't been down to Houston before, so that is on my list. Kara that's on here is one of the Lilac Sisters. They have a wonderful page. They do all kinds of fun crafts. If you're looking for something fun to follow, I recommend them. So there, I just put a base down of white. Ordinarily, I always put white in first. Occasionally, I'll use a different color first, but generally, I always start with white. And then you kind of work, as you saw the red get pushed out on the last one, I kind of work with the color I want to see least. I use that first, and then come this way with the other colors, with the one you want to see most of last. Whoops. So I'm just going to put some of this yellow in. As we know, this is not my favorite. Oh, okay. I think I've driven through there before. When I took a trip down to last year to New Orleans, I kind of cut across north of Dallas. Yeah, Plano, I know where that is, definitely. I have a relative that has, well, the relative passed away, but there's a probate going on of some property that's in Denton, Texas. So I went out and checked it out when I was down there a while ago. Hi, Amanda. This is acrylic paint. This is called Ebru Water Marbling. My name is Linda Anderson, Aqueous Silk. I marble on all kinds of surfaces. I had wanted to prep some leather to marble, but I totally forgot until just now. So we will forego the leather today. I have so many things. Around the 4th of July, I took a little bit of time off work because I still have a day job, and I am going to experiment with some fun stuff. I'll be showing that. Excuse me. When I see how it turns out. Hey, Beth, how are you? So we'll just give it a swirl. You can start by going back and forth, or you can just move the paint any way you want to. The trick is to not make bubbles. Move it so fast in the water that you make bubbles. Because when you put the piece down on the paper and there's a bubble in it, it leaves this big white spot because a bubble will pop. Okay, so now we're going to do a piece of paper. You start kind of holding opposite corners. To make sure the entire face of the paper touches the paint. And there it is. I have a piece of cardboard and parchment paper over here on my freezer, so I just lay it out there. I'm going to take it in and I will rinse it off very carefully. And then hang it to dry. And once it's dry, then I can do whatever I want to with it. You can make a book binding. You can, I cut them up and I use them, you know, shapes for different things. You can make journals, all kinds of stuff. And sometimes you see on this, after you've worked a little bit, like I see some pink right here and right here, and it's just below the surface. And when I'm just working with the surface colors, it doesn't matter if there's paint below the surface. Now, if I was doing another hat, I would want to make sure that that paint is as much out of there. I would dump the newspaper and kind of move it back and forth, and that disperses all that paint. Oh, thank you, Amanda. It is so much fun to do. I just love it. All right, hands are clean and ready to go again. So now, oh yeah, I know what I wanted for the other one. Let's see. Yep, right here. Let's see, I think I'm going to start with red. I made a scarf that was red and teal and white. Oh my gosh, that thing was gorgeous. I do this on silk, cotton, satin, leather, glass, all kinds of surfaces. But that silk scarf was amazing. Okay. Now we'll put some white in here. I don't need a lot of white because the paper is white, but it just kind of breaks it up a little bit. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Sunday. Whoops. We actually have some nice weather today. It's been warm the last 2 days here in Idaho. And I think I'm going to add just a little bit more. See how that red is just really red now? I have a 72-inch tank that I do the long pieces of silk in, and it's a lot more fun because I have different tools I can use. They don't fit in this tank, and I haven't made smaller ones yet. And you can make coned patterns that are just really cool. Kick the bottles. I make the water at it's regular water, filtered water. I buy the water because we're on a well here, but and I mix a little bit of seaweed powder with it, and that just thickens it a little bit. And so I make, when I do shows that are all canceled this year, I make them 3 gallons at a time. Usually I have 30 gallons of water, but I just made 9 gallons last night. Sorry, I get lost in what I'm doing here. All right, let's give that a try. Yes, I do still have the kits, Kara. I don't have a lot of them put together right now. I had intended on buying a quantity of the, I have I think 3 on hand, but I needed more seaweed powder, and I was going to buy a great quantity, and then everything got canceled, so I haven't put any more together yet. All right, let's do this sheet. And while that's down, let's take our sample. These are thread samples. I just have a piece of tape in the center, so I'm gonna dip this thread sample and see if either side takes the color. Now it appears that they did. So let me now rinse it. Yeah. It held the color and they both took it. So I can use the metallic thread to wrap my tumblers if I want to. I'm very happy with the way the regular white paint comes out. I'm not going to hold this over there because I don't want a bunch of dots on the back of that. Actually, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. There we go. Okay, so that worked. And now let's get this out of here. So that turned out pretty. Okay, so now I need to pick another color combination. The kits are, gosh, I should know. They're in the $60 range. I should know, but it's totally slipped my mind. I apologize for that. I haven't had anybody ask me in a while. I usually know right off the top of my head when I'm at shows, but I haven't had to repeat myself 400 times. They are in my Etsy shop. You'll find a lot of the items that I have done. My tumblers are not in there yet. The 3 tumblers I showed at the beginning. This is the red, white, and blue thread wrapped. This is the fabric marbled and then applied to the tumbler. And then this one is thread wrapped. This is a Yeti. I have a Yeti, a hog, and then just the red, white, and blue one is a general double-walled stainless steel from Hobby Lobby. That was my first just to try it. But this was a thread wrapped and then marbled. And this is the Yeti. Okay, I've got to get a drink. Getting a tickle. Hi, April. Yeah, if you go to my Etsy shop, you'll see things there. If you have questions, post them here or shoot me an instant message. And I'll check it out after I'm done and everything is cleaned up. But now I have one more thing to do. And I have to figure out colors. This is always the hard part for me. So I'm just gonna make sure that this newsprint is soaking up the paint that's in there. And it just pulls it right off the surface. So now I'm going to do the votive. I'm doing well, April. I hope you are as well. Let's see. What color? I think we're going to do, let's do blues. So I have this one, I have this one. I think I have a couple more blues. I have 2 different brands of paint, and you have to be very careful because the different brands don't play well together in the tank. There it is. So let's use these blues. I'll put down the darker one first. Yesterday, our here in Idaho, our farmers or farmers markets or Saturday markets have opened back up for the most part, at least where I am, but they haven't been until recently where I could take my tanks and allow people to make their own projects like I like to do. So I haven't participated yet. And yesterday my husband and I walked down through the market and visited with some friends from there that I used to see every weekend. So I'm excited that it's now time I can get back to doing some of that again. There's that. Okay. Now the bright blue. There's a little bubble right here. This is far more than I need for what I'm going to be doing, but you'll want to fill the tank so you get a nice vibrant. Your colors are much more vibrant if your tank is filled with color. And maybe let's pop in just a touch of white. I wish it would do, I wish I could use metallics. I can on paper, but I can't on any other surface. It definitely, well, it does well on leather. It does adhere on leather. But, it doesn't on many surfaces. I'm so sad that it doesn't on cloth. This is the most fun. It's moving this paint. All right, so I have this just inexpensive little votive glass, and we're going to give this a try. Whoops, before I do that, I bought these little, when I do wine glass stems, I bought these little frogs, floral frogs. And then I just rest the glass on there, and then it drips down and doesn't really mess up the design. I'm just moving that over here, getting it ready. Okay, so here we go. New projects always make me nervous. It is. So now I'm just going to set it aside. Take this so I don't drip paint on my floor of my garage. I just set it up there on that. And now I hesitated. There are little lines that go around where you can see I hesitated in my motion. But we'll see how it looks when it gets done. It's just, I don't like it and it doesn't stick well, I believe I can just wash it off. But that's it for today. I got my main projects done. Now I will take that tumbler and I will seal the thread with Mod Podge really well. The first one I did this tumbler in another thread. I wrapped it in a different, it was kind of a tan thread, and I tried it. And I went to epoxy it and it wasn't sealed well before I epoxied, and the epoxy got under the thread and made a big black spots. So I know now that I need to seal it very well before I do epoxy. But oh, it's so fun. It is so fun. If you have any questions, you're welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, message me, drop them in the comments here, and I'll answer later. And now it's just a matter of cleaning up. With this tank, I have to literally scoop the water out and funnel it back into the bottle until such time as I can actually lift and pour it into the tumbler. I've got tumblers on the brain, into the 3-gallon bottle. But I can reuse this water now for, if it stays refrigerated, which I always keep it refrigerated, for quite some time. It'll start smelling bad, and usually you can use it a couple times even after it smells bad. But I've got a sensitive nose, so. Well, I wish you all a wonderful weekend. The rest what's left of it. If you have to go back to work like some of us, have a wonderful week. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone. And happy Father's Day to all the dads.